Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week, where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, join hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten, and the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher, and the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Welcome to World Premiere Word on the Streets, friends. Thank you all so much for joining in and being with us. As you all know, or you may not know, we are very honored to have the two most outstanding gentlemen that I know, friends. The man really need no introduction. He's live on Facebook. He have a YouTube channel called The Blind Truth. I'm talking about the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Mr. Keith Fletcher. And of course, friends, we are now fully complete because we were incomplete and we knew something was missing. We knew a voice was missing. All of a sudden, friends, all of a sudden, if you're somebody who admire common sense, reason, seriousness, I submit to you, Mr. Vincent Craig.
What's up? What's up?
And ladies and gentlemen, the three of us together, we call this platform the world premiere Word on the Streets. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And tonight we're excited to be here with you all. We're excited, friends, because we get an opportunity to come inside your home, your bedroom, your car, wherever you might be, and share with you common sense conversation, our personal life experience, how the trials and challenges we have had in our life, how we have overcome them. And we believe that some of the challenges we have faced could perhaps help you overcome the challenges you may be going through right now, or someone you know may be going through right now. And today's topics, friends, we're going to chop it up on identity. We're talking about identity interrupted. And we're going to dive all the way down in this subject matter because it's a very serious subject matter. Now, we've been chewing on this for a little bit. And the reason why we kind of keep going back to it, because the more we dig down in it, the more seriousness we discover and find out. Just the other day, friends, I was digging about how we as men, how we handle things in our life, when things doesn't go the way we would hope for them to go. And to my discovery, I discovered this thing that was encouraging on one hand, but also a little dismay on the other hand. I discovered and found out that more and more men are beginning to express how they feel. But on the flip side of more men expressing how they feel, they are finding out neuroscience that suicide rate is up among men. And it's up for a lot of reasons. We're living in a whole new world right now, and men have been brought up in a certain frame of mind of thinking, and that old frame of mind is being entangled with a new way of living, and it's creating some challenges for most men, which is why the suicide rate is going up. And I was on the phone a couple of days ago talking with Fletcher, and we were talking about this problem here. And we both was reviewing how is it, some of the reasons that men are having some challenging moment is that in today's world, a lot of men who may be in their 40s or going on a job and their supervisor may be 21 years old. Not that age should make a difference, but it does affect one. Apparently, it affects. This is just not me pulling stuff out of thin air. And then you take that idea, friends. So a man, he goes on a job, he been managed and handled by someone half his age, and he leaves work in the same, and he still have the same challenges, the same responsibilities as the same man who had 20, 30 years ago. You still have mortgage, you still have rent, you still have car notes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You still have the same responsibilities. But on the flip side of that, the female, the woman have elevated. They're not the same as they were 30, 40 years ago. In many cases, if not most, a lot of women are earning more money than men, more educated than the men. So now you have this man, Vincent Fletcher. I'm Word on the Street family. Y'all in for a good one today. So we have this man, right? He going to work. The guy at work half his age. He's coming home. His wife makes more money. What, Emma? What is it that a man of today? How does he handle all these changes going on in his life? I'm gonna stop it right there, and we're gonna have a dialogue. Let's just dive in, brothers.
Well, I'd like to start. I'd like to talk about where you mentioned first how in corporate America, because me being in corporate for over 25 to 30 years, you've seen the evolution of it used to be you would have an older, more seasoned individual, as you stated, but now, they're hiring in folks straight out of college and things of that nature. So it's starting to be more, how do I say it? It's starting to become the norm now. One of my mentors once told me that I used to sought out, I used to meet with him in the corporate world. He told me of a term. So there's a mentor, right? There's an intern. The mentor is the one that has the knowledge and that the younger individuals or either whoever would go to seek out counsel as far as, what to do, questions that they may have, how to succeed in this. Can you give me some pointers? And the intern was the one that basically came in fresh and new. My mentor told me there's a term that he likes to mix, and it's mentern. You got to take half the mentor and half the intern, put them together because the mentor can learn from the intern, while in fact, the intern is learning from the mentor. So, in the sense of there should be dialogue, not just seasoned veterans in their 40s and 50s stand in this circle and the 20s and 30s stand in this circle. You have to combine because there's something to be said. And I think KRS-One, I don't know if you all or actually know who he is, but he did. I saw something that he had where he mentioned the youth should be talking to the older to get caught up and knowing how to handle stuff. And the older people should be talking to the younger people to stay up to speed on what's going on, right? So in that, I like how you open that up and you started saying that is because it is an actual fact of what's going on, not just in the corporate world, but in a lot of
Yeah.
companies, right? You'll
Yes.
see these younger kids, they're over managing people that's twice their age, right?
Right.
Take it a step back to your original question as far as, can you ask that question again just in case we got some other people that just joined?
Right. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
And on that point, if this is your first time, friends, driving by, coming in to this platform, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And we come on every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Make no mistake, we're here live every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And today, friends, we're chopping it up about identity interrupted. And one of the things that we have noticed about this discussion, and if y'all have missed what we've been on for the past 2 weeks, go and check us out on YouTube. Better yet, subscribe, and you'll never miss an episode. But we have been building on this subject matter, and it is hitting a crescendo about the flight of men. And what they're finding out in neuroscience is that more men, this is the good news, more men have begun to open up. It used to be that men were stoic. They didn't talk their feeling. They just kept it zipped up. We still do that. But they have learned in neuroscience that more men are talking now. Sadly, more men are committing suicide as they open up. Why? Because they are dealing with frustration, frustration on the job. A lot of middle-aged men between age 45 and 60 going to jobs whereby their supervisor is half their age, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. They take having to take direction and order from someone half their age. Now, I don't have look, no nothing in that soup bowl for me to be swinging, whether I'm for it or against, pro, and all this, that, and the other. I'm just sharing with you all what the stats are, what's the real world is on in what's before us in the real world in today's world. So that same man, friends, when he leave that job in today's world, he's going home to his significant other who's now making more income than he is, more educated than he is. I'm speaking of his wife because now stats have shown that women, especially African American women, are more educated than the men, making and the income, although they're more educated, they're making as much and but in most cases are making more than their husband or significant other. This same man, as has been stated, his stress level has gone through the roof. And as an indication of his stress level going through the roof, men are beginning to commit suicide at a greater degree number. So the question is, What can we do? What can a man do to resolve these issues? How can a man cope with this changing society that we are now living in from 25 years ago to today's?
Think something wrong with your mic, extraordinaire. Think
Oh,
you
nobody can hear me?
now
Yeah,
I
we
can.
heard you
Now I
breaking
can.
up.
Okay.
There I can.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Anybody?
paused out for about 10 seconds.
Oh, wow. That was important 10 seconds, too. It was important 10 seconds. I don't know what part did I stop on.
No, I heard the whole thing on my side.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Well, it may have just been me.
Yeah.
Can, all right. Dive in, anyone.
Yeah, Vince, you wanted to repeat it. Was you gonna finish your statement on it?
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and just with the other side of that. I think with the tests that they have going now, I think in the age that we're in right now, a lot more men are starting to come forth. In the days of back when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, it was taboo for you to want to go see a psychiatrist. It was taboo
Hmm.
to admit that and tell people that you're going through issues. We basically suffered in silence, right? And in that suffering in silence, the ones closest to us, basically our wives, our children, our kids, they were the recipients of basically what we were going through. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago about how we as men and as people tend to put masks on, right? We have a mask for work. We tend to have a mask for this place. We have a mask for this place. We put these different faces on to fit in where we need to fit in. But then when we come home, then we kind of take the mask off and it's like, okay, this is a true me. And you treat people a little bit less patiently than what you would do at the job. One of the things that my ex-wife told me was, and I told you guys in the audience last week was when she called me a hypocrite, it was basically an eye opener for me because she said, you're coaching these kids and you're talking to their parents, and it's like, and it hit me, and I'm like, man, if I can be real to these people, and why am I giving my loved ones the least part of me, right? But from a standpoint of when you have a problem, I remember a counselor once told me, uh, there's nothing wrong with you. You just have a compulsivity disorder. And basically, you want to say the right thing and do the right thing. It's just you have a different way of saying it and doing it, right? First is it admitting and not being in isolation as far as not letting people know what we're going through. Sometimes we as individuals don't want to be transparent because we're fearful of what others may do with the information that we share with them, right? And to me, that's what I call that suffering in silence. And it's we know the power of combustion. If you take a Coke bottle or Sprite or whatever, and you shake it and you pop it open, over it's going to blow up. That's what a lot of us do in our everyday lives, right? Because we take on so much, so much, so much, so much, and then when we eventually get ticked off or something just puts us over the top, right? But we
Yes.
have to be able to open up and share with other people to let them know what we're going through without judgment, without shame, and saying, hey, this is where I'm at. Like we have to admit and be humble enough to show and tell people, I'm suffering, like I'm going through something. Like, and again, we as men, that's just not the strongest suit because we take on so much and we want to tackle and fix everything else. But then again, we're the worst because we're dying on the inside. Keith, I'll just turn it over to you.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna take us back. I was raised by a single mother, and my mom was the type, man. She fussing and hollering about everything. I was a trouble kid. I got in trouble all the time, but fighting and stuff. So my dad wasn't there. I had my uncle, my grandfather. My grandfather was older by that time, but I was searching for something that I don't know. It just I didn't fit in. You know what I'm saying? I didn't fit in the situation. So when I started being around other people, I started seeing how a man act. You know what I'm saying? My version of seeing other people watching them. Okay, this dude, that dude. So like I said, I picked this identity of this guy I saw. He was a swole guy. He had a muscle shirt on. He working out. All the girls liked him. That's who I wanted to be. He was hard. You know what I'm saying? He was on other hard individuals. Always ready for something. So that's the identity I took on. and that's who I was. I wasn't taking no stuff. Nobody was gonna talk to me, so I played it like that, tight like that. You know? So I took on that identity, protect like this, people mess with me. Back then, dark was me, and I was dark black, and we wanted to talk about it. So I started taking on a whole different identity. That's who I was. So fast forward as I grew, it started following me. As I grew, this respect. You got to be about respect. You know what I'm saying? Certain things you don't say to me, certain things you can't say to me, certain way you can't look how you move. You watching how men do things because you're wrong. These type of men, these type of characters, and you put on more of a persona. You put on more of how a man is supposed to act. What he gonna pick up. Even when I got around my dad, I started seeing how he move and other people how a man move with things. You know, but I never really watched. What I'm saying, how the man interact with his wife. Again, my grandmother and grandfather was way older. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't even kissing. They wouldn't even touching each other. You know what I'm saying? They're not even sleeping in the same bed. So again, I don't see the son of a man and woman affectionate. I don't see even when I got with my dad and stepmom, my stepmom, they wouldn't affect. They wouldn't built like that. So I took that persona on. A man is hard. A man go to work. A man do these things. As you don't tell everybody your business. They'll use it against you. You know what I'm saying? So that was it with me. So when I came into going to my life, the big thing, like you said, in the corporate, I didn't get into the corporate world until later on. I went into the military. In the military, it's all about men. It's all about, especially with the MOS, I was in field artillery, again, about men. You know what I'm saying? So I flourished in the military because I'm around men. The strong survive. The weak, you know what I'm saying, beat up. I moved up in ranks because of my attitude. But when I got out the military and got into the real world, the identity didn't work. When I got into the real world, that identity, and you said, like you said, you did. I want to say I went in the corporate world yet, but when I got in the world, I'm working with men and women, young men that's been out there. I've been in the military. I was called the older guy in the military because the military, if you like at the time, you in your 20s, 20, 21, 22, most guys coming in 17, 18. So I'm 21 and I'm the old guy. So then I get in the retail. I'm doing the retail stuff. That's what I started off with. Again, I'm the old guy with the young people. You know what I'm saying? And I got younger people teaching me, telling me, and telling this. And then again, I'm dealing with this identity I have in the military, have raising the environment I'm in. And then I come into this world with this, and I'm not fitting in. I'm not fitting in at all. And I'm saying, I'm like, man, I was thriving through what the military thriving up. Then I get in here, I'm losing. You know what I'm saying? So that what I'm just saying. Let somebody else get it. But that was my position when I got into that and retail into that world out the military. It was hard for me to transition because the identity I had, and I was a serious dude. I remember I'm gonna tell you a story. I was assistant manager, and I had a shift, and the girl called in, and she was having problems at home. And she said, well, I got my mom, and she was telling me about it. She got to talk to her mom. She can't make it. I said, I don't care what you got to do with your mom. I don't care what's going on with mom. You need to get here to work. See, that's how I was in the military. You wouldn't miss it. I don't care if you got a broke leg. You're going to drag that leg in to work and come in and sign in. So that identity I had, that's what it was with me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was with me. So transitioning over to that and being around younger people, and they telling me things, I was feeling all the time with that because I couldn't fit in for that moment. That's my go ahead.
Hey, if I could add something on there, Keith, I'd like to add too. I think we're taught at an early age, right? Like, and again, being raised by like a single mom, sometimes you'll see the point of, oh, stop that crying. If you want to cry, I give you something to cry about. We're taught at an early age to suppress our feelings and to suppress things, right? Like we're taught and molded and shaped to suck it up. Like, there's a phrase now, suck it up, buttercup, right? And it's just these things, like sometimes you're shape shifted and you're conditioned to be a certain way, right? So it's like, it's like, well, do I tell people this? Do I look like a, softy? It's kind of like one of the members of the audience, Mark said, there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable, but it's like we weren't taught to be vulnerable at an early age. We're taught to go with our fist up, clinking, ready to go at all times, right? This is just like once you find a weakness in someone, back in the day, you would kind of secretly use that to your favor, right? So it's like
Exactly.
now we really are, trying to change how we came up, the things that we learned, to where we don't pass it on to our children, right? I wasn't the best at that, right? But one of my uncles told me this. He said, "You think you got your head knocked in?" He says, "Your granddad would really go off on us, right?" But he said this. He said, "It gets lighter with each generation," which is how it should be, right? It should evolve, right? Now, I know we want to stick a lot of these principles and kind of use some of the tactics and the ways that our parents raised us, but some of those I'm just not using, right? Some I am, some I'm not. And I really got to go back and like, okay, this worked, this didn't work. How do I find my identity as a man to where it's going to help me be a better person, right? And the one thing that I've been able to do with some mistakes along the way is sometimes you fail forward, right? I didn't have like a consistent man. I had uncles, I had neighbors, I had friends, I had friends' parents that I would watch. And like you said, Keith, learn how to do certain things, right? The one thing they didn't teach us though is how to be vulnerable, how to be open. Because again, you're fighting for survival during those days of, I'm just not showing a weakness.
You know, brothers, that's a lot of hurt. That's a lot of hurt out here. That's a lot of people suffering. A lot of men suffering. Vincent, you said it perfectly well. You say we suffer in silence. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Maybe I can't imagine, but some some of these guys are having to not, after working 20, 30 years, not having to have a place to call their home and having a bad marital relationship, barely making income from paycheck to paycheck. And as you said, as you both have said so eloquently well, although we're talking more, but by and large, we have been inbred to suck it up, be a man, fight through it, work through it. And meanwhile, your world is crumbling down all around you. And you,
Extraordinaire. Are you able to do something for me? Uh, there's a individual, and Keith actually knows him too, Cedric Ford, who's my stepson who helped raise, and he's typing some information. Can you read out what he said on that
yes,
last
I'm
one?
gonna try. I'm gonna pull it up
Yeah,
on the. You see it on the screen.
On screen, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I like what he said when he said, I think the generations are still trying to catch up as far as breaking the code of suppressing our feelings as a man, slowly but surely. And I feel like it would take the women in this world to help us. Like
Mhm.
that's powerful right there because sometimes it does take a strong woman to support a man, right? Again, if you don't have people in your circle and if you have that strong woman, he's on point with that. Like sometimes it really does take someone strong. Like what's the old saying?
So actually, he's saying right in the direction that I was driving to, the point I
Okay.
was driving. Right, but go ahead on.
No, no. This old saying is uh, behind every successful man is a successful woman. So I like what he said that. So that just, but sorry, extraordinaire. Go ahead.
No, but tell us about who is this gentleman again? That's important, man.
Yeah, Cedric, is my oldest, the oldest. This is my stepson from my first marriage. He's ex-Marine. Well, I don't know if he stopped being Marine, but
Come
now,
on now. Come
yeah,
on now. We
yeah,
don't let something like that go unnoticed, my brother.
yeah.
No.
And actually, he's the one. Like I said, whenever me and Keith first saw each other, I was like, I saw Keith from afar, right? But our oldest sons they established their relationship, and then that's what drove me and Mr. Keith's relationship. So Keith knows about Cedric. Cedric knows about Keith. So we're just glad to have him on board here as well.
Absolutely.
And him coming from the Marines and the service, I think this topic is on point because a lot of men that's in the service and they are suffering, right? They are coming
Exactly.
back and they're like getting PTS and trauma and things that they're having to deal with. Trauma from life coming up, and then the trauma from going out, right?
Going out and coming back into society and finding a whole different world.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We also have another gentleman in the chat room. Are you all familiar with Mark?
Yep. Mark is a good friend of mine. Mark Bergman. Yep, he's a good friend of mine too.
Mark, welcome to World Premiere. Good and sweet. Selena, thank you for being there. Selena's always there to support us, and we appreciate Selena and La Diana every single week. Always have our back. So the point is, friends, as you all can see and tell, this is a timely conversation because we have a lot of men suffering, and we suffer in silence. We've been brought up to be macho men, strong, handle it. And these things, now since we are in 2025, living in a whole new world, I think you said it best. We got men in the service, come back home, and now you finding all these changes. What used to be up is down, what used to be down is up. Internet is taken over by storm. It's a lot of change. It's fast paced. And we find ourselves with our identity has gotten confused over the years. How am I supposed to cope with all these changes? How am I supposed to change and overcome these situations and get out of this? Now we know it's possible. And we also know that these challenges that you may be experiencing, and it's when you hear someone say this, it doesn't do you any good feeling, but it's true nonetheless. Challenges in our life is a season. They're not there forever. And the situation that you're going through, don't misunderstand it as if that's who you are. That isn't who you are. That is the situation you're going through. That's a major difference. But when we're in the middle of the storm, it's easy to get confused. I know we all three of us know about this. When you in the middle of the storm, it's easy to get confused. And we are the hardest people on earth. We're the hardest on ourselves. We accept them as if we're the problem, we're the storm. And this is why so many men are checking out. They think the answer is just to check themselves out. Friends, it's a season. Get professional help. And as long as you stay to yourself, by yourself, the deeper the darkness will come. You will become locked into darkness. You will become a prisoner of your thoughts, prisoner of your emotions. We die and suffer when we're isolated. What you say, Fletcher?
Like I say, being in the military, we travel over a lot of places. Most people don't even leave the same state they're in. Most people don't leave the comfort of their family. You know what I'm saying? So when you get away, I said a lot of this stuff is environment. I come from Louisiana, then you come out of poverty, you come out of environment that's, you fighting all the time. It's always, like I say, crabs in a bucket, people trying to get over, people don't like you. In a smaller area, you stay around the same people because you're not venturing out too far. You stick to what you know. Even when you go, to another state, you find the same type of people, same type of environment. In the military, when you get in the military, you put yourself in college, the same thing. You get into college, up into college, you start finding the people that fits in your identity. And you go in the military, it'll get even more. So you get in the military, it's worse because now, when I'm from Texas, I'm from Louisiana, my circles are smaller. Then I get to Texas, my circle's smaller. But when you get into college, it start getting bigger. When you get in the military, you start moving different places. You attach to different people, more people that fit in your same, but you don't put yourself around, and it get worse. And the identity start growing and you saying it's working. You know what I'm saying? You ain't moved. You didn't get with the people that was the educated ones that was doing this or doing the good. You get with the people that you know, that you fit in with. And our identity becomes stronger. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. Ain't no changing who I am. This is what it is. And you fighting not to change that part. So now, man, you done came through that, then you got your family, and then you bring your wife, and you get your wife, you can see, I'm a man, I'm this is how I go. Everybody saying I'm all right, ain't nothing wrong with me. But she said she's something wrong with it. She said something different. She interfering with your identity. You want me to be something. You want me to be somebody else. You like the other brothers. Oh, you looking at somebody else. You want me to change? Like you said, not even dealing with the stuff that you're dealing with on the job, but dealing with you're trying to find that you're trying to compete because it's all about competing. That's all you know. I'm scratching and scraping to get to the top, and you telling me that I'm wrong, and you really is. So your identity, it's not working, and you still trying to figure it out, but you're on the same people. They telling you all right, but you don't feel all right.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Then you go home, your wife telling you ain't right. Now you ain't right. They telling you right. She telling you ain't right. The closest people to you. Then your mama is just, and you constantly going back and forth trying to find that leg. This is who I've been. Why I'm not working. So then, like you said, you get in the military. You've been at different places. You've been at different people. Then next thing you know, your relationship is over. So now you've been feeling. When your relationship over, now you feeling that it was hold you together. Your kids not there. Now your job start feeling at your job. Now you come that young dude. See, you say the young person, the problem, no, it was all these other things, and then that young guy, he come, especially not even young. He a smart dude. He's from a different place. He's not in the same boat of environment or identity. He don't understand who you are. So he starts saying something's wrong with you. He start working on you. Now we not this dude. We don't understand each other. We not clicking. You don't know that you went through a divorce. You ain't know that you lost your kids because you ain't telling them because that ain't what you do. You don't cry. I mean, you don't tell nobody your problem. You come to work angry. You come to work angry. Going to your dad. You can't even tell he's seeing it, but you can't express it to him. Now everything is angry. Again, now you start putting yourself around people like that. Yeah, bro, I understand what you're going through. Ain't no help because you're going to put yourself around the same type of people to make you feel even better. Or he understand. He know what I'm going through. You still don't get no help. You still keep spiraling. You keep spiraling. Now you get in trouble with the law. You keep spiraling. Now ain't nobody here next to you know. You can't get it. You can't, nobody talking. People want to reach you. You got a woman you done met. She trying to tell you, but you ain't here. You so deep into you. That's what happens right there. It's so easy just to pull that trigger. Even if the woman, she tired of you. She get tired. She been trying and she walked and everybody walked away. You can blame everybody else. It's easy to pull that trigger. Easy to get lost. It's easy to get lost in your memory, lost in that spirit, lost in that nobody here for me. That you don't even see it. And all these people around you, but you don't even see their help. You don't see nothing but all these failures. You think that was failure. You done made up your mind that they failures. And that's how we get lost into that. You know what I'm saying? That's how we get lost.
So how do
You
you
know,
what
go
do
ahead
you
on.
do to think there was a question that says how to open up how do I guide them to be more open? So when the suggestion for me is how do I have to make myself approachable, right? For me, a lot of people are as African American men, they're intimidated by us at times because we do it hard for the men.
Hey Vince, I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
breaking up.
your mic is
The
muffled.
mic is breaking up.
Is it still breaking up? Is that
There you
better?
Okay,
go.
it's better. It's better now.
No, I could just say I know for me, it's I have to make myself more approachable, right? I've been told, sometimes, I'm intimidating, or people are scared to step to me. I'm an open book, right? Every page isn't for you to be read. There's certain chapters that you just won't agree on, and for those that don't agree on that chapter, just turn to the next, and you'll find something that fits. For me, just walking alongside someone, letting them know, hey, I'm here for you. Is there anything I can do to assist you or help you with? I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to shame you. I'll make myself available, right? Again, we have to retrain ourselves on on sometimes what we didn't. There's always saying it's hard to give what you don't have.
That's right.
I'll repeat that. It's hard to give what you don't have.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You
So
don't have it, you can't give it away.
you can't give it, right? But then sometimes on the flip side of that, a buddy of mine said, you you spot it because you got it, right? What Keith said, about like man in high school. All the kids are doing pretty much the same thing. And after graduation, there's something called the great scatter, right? Your friends and your cliques and things that you used to hang with, y'all used to do the same thing because you're on this schedule, the same regimen, right? Except if you were in the band or playing sports or in the drama club or in the book club or something like that. But after high school, you scatter. Those 20 and 30 friends start to become 2 to 5 friends because you start doing different things, right? So for me, it's putting yourself around something different because if you keep going to the same surroundings, you may get the same results. Sometimes we just have to humble ourselves and just ask, hey, this is where I'm at. But the question was, what is it that we can do to guide them to be open? Sometimes you have to just let people know or carry yourself in a manner that makes people want to come to you and ask you certain things because people are always watching.
And hey, brothers, and on that note, we're going to take a break. But before we do, friends, don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. We like to also salute and thank Mr. Ford. 11 years of service, friends. 11 years of service and still serving. And still serving. And still serving. Thank you for joining us. Mark, thank you for joining us. Ladiana, Selena, thank y'all for being here. Don't go anywhere, friends. We'll be right back. And part two, we're going to dive deeper where Vince was talking about the how to, what to moving forward. So stay tuned.
Travel the world but stay connected to yours. Introducing the GlocalMe Newman Air 5G mobile hotspot. Experience lightning-fast internet at speeds up to 2.5 gigabits per second. That's 15 times faster than 4G stream, download, and connect without a single lag, wherever you are. Thanks to patented cloud SIM technology, no SIM card is needed. It intelligently finds the best network across 200+ countries, connecting up to 16 devices simultaneously. Work, share, and stay close, effortlessly. And with its long-lasting 5,400 mAh battery, you get up to 11 hours of 5G power, even doubling as a handy power bank for your other devices. From bustling cities to remote escapes, your connection never fades. Flexible data plans mean you only pay for what you need, by the day, month, region, or GB. Get global freedom, without the roaming fees or contracts.
The GlocalMe Numenair 5G mobile hotspot is now available.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it. because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere word on the streets.
You know, the nice thing about giving up your personal history is that if you don't have a story, you don't have to live up to it. All of us have these bags of manure that we carry around with us called our past, and the people who have done things to us, and the events and the circumstances, all of this stuff that we use and we bond to. And we bond ourselves to these wounds of our past, and we identify ourselves on the basis of these wounds. And every once in a while we set it down and we reach in there and we smear it all over ourselves. And then we wonder, why does my life smell so bad? I don't understand this. In order to work at solving these things called problems in your life, you have to change your mind. It is your mind where they live. It is your mind that created them. There is where you experience them. They're all illusions. You must change your mind. Literally rewrite your agreement with reality. Admit that you were wrong. Admitting that you were wrong is nothing more than saying, I have been making choices with my mind that have created things in my life that are not working. And I no longer intend to continue making those choices. Wisdom is avoiding all thoughts which weaken you. You know, every thought has an energy, just like everything else in the universe. And if you have a thought of shame, it will weaken your muscles. And what is your heart but a muscle? If you raise a child to believe in shame and feel ashamed of themselves, every time they think that shameful thought, they will be weakened. And if you have a thought of fear, and if you have a thought of stress, and you have a thought of anguish and anxiety, all of these thoughts and many more are the thoughts that will always weaken you. When you are having a thought that you know is disempowering you, shift it. Shift it to one that is empowering rather than disempowering. And the thoughts that empower are thoughts of neutrality and willingness and love, and ultimately thoughts of divinity. And when you see a troubled person who is out there struggling at the highest level of unity consciousness or God consciousness or spiritual consciousness, you recognize yourself in all that you see. There, but for the grace of God, go I. And I am connected to that person. Changing your thoughts.
Want more? Start with Healing the Inner Child, the ebook that's changing hearts on Gumroad. Then dive deeper with the journals that started the movement. Inspired Journal. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. My Destiny Journal, It's Possible Journal, My Soul Purpose Journal. All journals available on Amazon. Because breakthrough isn't optional, it's overdue.
You know, the nice thing about giving up your personal history is that if you don't have a story, you don't have to live up to it.
In the words of Keith Fletcher, you got to get your mind right. This is part 2, friends.
What was the question the guy asked?
Cedric asked, he says, still active duty for 11 years strong, still pushing. I witnessed a lot of men of all ages in the military that don't know how to open up about their struggles. How do I guide them to be more open?
Well, you know, I was in the military. First, I was in the military. You have a battle buddy. You know what I'm saying? You have a battle buddy that's there for you. In your battle buddy, we have somebody that's over the unit that you go to. The thing is about this whole concept, everybody got trauma. Hurt people. Says you got trauma, I got trauma. And the thing is, so to help somebody through something, how can you help somebody through something that you've never been through? You know, you can speak on something, but really help somebody that's going through a problem and give them advice. Not knowing what if that advice you tell them not the right advice. You know, and then, like I said again, in the military, I'm 23 years old. I'm in charge of 4, 5, 6, 7 people. 7 of them, 3 of them married. 2 of them got 3, 4 kids. One from California, one from New York, one from New Jersey, one from Atlanta, one from Arizona. I don't know nothing about what it is about them. So now I got to teach them one way, the Army way. It's the only way, the Army way. And the Army say, hey, at 5:30 you want to be at PT, and you better be the time. No matter what is going on in your home, I need you there. So when say, how do I reach them? If you ain't understand what they're going, you want to get somebody else to reach them. You want to get somebody else that went through something that you know that they went through, that can sit them down and reach them. Because something that you're going to say is going to get, like when I went through, me and my wife was having problems. And this some years ago. And I met this pastor. He was talking about counseling me. The only reason I let him counsel me, because he said, man, I cheated on my wife like 10 times. I had 10 different things. And I say, what? My first thing was like, how, and y'all still together? How did you get out of that? That was it for me. Like, I got to hear what this man said. He know. Experience. So I'm saying, said in the Army, I come in now, because they got people coming. I'm 35 years old. He over me. How can you tell me? How can you help me? You can't. I'm not gonna let you help me. I gotta want to be helped. And when I want to be helped, and you gotta have that person that somebody can help me. I want my cup to be filled. Do you have enough intent to fill that cup up? No, all you know is the military, the Army way, the Marine way. So what it is, our pride is to go find someone that can reach me. So find someone that have that problem, that understands me, that they can understand what I want them to do as a soldier, as a chief, or say, and that's what I had. I could not reach out to them, but I knew I had people that knew somebody. Hey man, I'm having a problem. Explain this to me. Why is he like that? Why are we having an issue like that? Oh, he from this part of town. They grew up like this. That's why okay, let me get that. Okay, come on, let's see, how can I connect with him on this level? How can I reach down on my knee and meet him where he at? That's how you connect with him. Can you do that? Especially if you outrank him. Can you sit down and talk to you E6, you can go down to a private and reach and get down to his knees and go there and talk to him and his wife and his family. He come from a broken home. His wife come from a poverty-stricken home. They have nothing. Their mentality there, but they want to come to the military. And they think the military is going to change their whole life. They putting everything on the military. And they come in there green as can be. And they realize that military ain't no different than the people on the street, because the same people on the street, the same people looking for the same thing but they bringing the same trauma with them. They bring the same identity with them. And you think you coming to a safe place. And you get in that place and that place say, oh, no. Nah. You get that person, your kid, and they do something that now that person that you trusted and got your kids and got your wife and did. But hurt people. So now you got what you think you do. You put a wall up for real now. You put a wall up for real. The guys that the reason I started drinking, I never drunk nothing until I got in the military. My guy said, man, you got to drink. I hated beer. Hey, man, we're going to drink this beer. Beer's an acquired taste. We're going to sit here and drink till you acquire the taste. That's what I did. Michelob Light. I drank Michelob Light till I acquired that taste. So I'm saying people trauma to hurt people. You can be put in a situation, but I'm saying that for me, to be in that vibe and coming from a single mother, that's what I'm saying. The trauma hurt people, and getting in there. But the battle buddies in life fighting, and then you get in a situation like saying counseling. I'm my counselor, getting somebody that been through it. Somebody you alcoholism. How can I tell somebody that sit there and drink, and I don't know? I can tell him to stop, but I really don't know what's the cause and effect. I can't help him. I can hurt him more. Something I can say can hurt him. So getting somebody that really can help him, get somebody that really can reach him. That's how you connect with him. If you want that, that's it.
Yes. I want to add to that, because There's a spiritual solution to every problem, and there's somebody for somebody. One person cannot be the answer for everything. So what I'm saying is that finding that right person that fits you, as Keith just said, Fletcher just said, because personalities, somebody can say the same thing you say, but it can't be received from you for whatever reason. That's just life. That's the way life is. Any more than you can hear a song being sung by one artist and it just don't hit you the same way as it does being sung by another artist. That's life. But I believe that there is somebody, there's a solution out there. And the solution is once you find that person that you can feel comfortable enough to open up to, a major part of that healing, we're on the flip side of this coin now where we're moving forward. We've identified that there's a problem on the table. We want to get healed. We want to fix this problem. We're in the hospital. We want to be whole. We want to get well. It's gonna start with getting your mind. See, the mind is a dangerous landmine. It is the conductor of you, your personality. The mind dictates until your internal organs. See, your organs, like Fletcher, you mentioned trauma. We have trauma from the thoughts that we are thinking over and over again in our mind. We get depressed thinking a thought over and over again in our mind. And in our mind, they are real, whatever it may be. In reality, it may be something totally different. That's where a professional psychiatrist, just like we see physician for a broken arm, we need a physician for our mind. Because sometimes we have things not always firing as they should. But rest assured, friend, you don't have to live your entire life suffering, thinking that there's no hope, thinking there's no solution. You're not, you're not, you're not the end. You're not the destruction. You're not the fault. There is a solution for whatever it is you're trying to cope with and dealing with. I'm saying all this because I don't want anybody to walk away feeling helpless and hopeless. There is a solution out there. There is an answer for you. What say you, Vincent?
And let me
Now,
say,
I
let me
kind
say,
of like want to
let me say
piggyback
this right
what
quick.
Keith
I
said
want
as far as finding someone that's been through it, right? It's called the testimony, right? You got to find someone that's been tested and has been moaning through the process. Testimony, right?
Yes.
You got to find someone basically that is going through it because one thing you don't want to do is make it worse. Because we as men have a tendency to want to fix things. And I think for me, I had my mom, I don't know if it was my mom that told me this or what. She said, you know what, your opinion is good, but not everybody wants your opinion.
Mhm.
So I had to understand that. And I'm like, wait a minute, right? So I had to pick and choose. And then with the opinion was me giving and asking people for permission for me to speak into them. Because when I ask for the permission, they're not as offensive, right? They're not on the defensive when I'm coming to them because A, we're already having dialogue. But B, I'm going a step further and said, can I suggest something to you? Right? Because I think the one thing that people say is, hey, don't get offended by what I'm about to say. Right? You're already setting the stage.
Yeah.
So for me, I like what Keith said when he was like, find you someone that basically has been through it. And it's I think the one thing that I used to be like is I don't want to take advice from someone that's been married 3 or 4 times. I had to kind of turn that around. It's like, no, maybe there is something to be learned from someone that has been married 3 or 4 times, right? Maybe I can learn what not to do, right? Maybe they can give me some secrets on how they went through things. Kind of like what Keith said, this guy was like
Mhm.
saying, hey, this guy stepped out 10 times, right? And he's still with his wife, right? That's something that him and his wife had to go through, right? That person that told Keith that, right? That opened up. But the one thing that you really don't, and I think I mentioned it last week or either the week before, is like I'm very quick to say when I'm not what, how do I say it? I don't have expertise in everything, right? Because again, we want to, sometimes we'll make it up as we go along, right? And if it's not coming from the Most High, then I'm like, okay, that's coming from me. Maybe that's not the best suggestion, right? But when you find someone that has been through it, that has gone through it, that has walked through it, and it's like, and have come out on the other end, that's who you should be seeking out. Is like, okay, let me see what this, because success leaves clues, right? And again, people are always watching. They're either watching for you to fail, or they're watching for you to make it, right? But they're watching for a reason, because you have to show yourself friendly at times in order for people to want to come up to you and talk to you about stuff. But again, we're not for everybody. Keith ain't for everybody. I'm not for everybody. Keith wasn't for me a while back, right? But again, I watched from afar, and it's like now we established a strong brotherhood.
Yeah, I would say, man, like just say the person that's going through, he gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta want to change. Like with me,
Yeah.
the person I wanted to change. I was tired, man. I was tired because I wouldn't get nowhere. I wouldn't. So you start looking over the time, and what you're doing is not fit, not working. So I was tired, and I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Like a marriage. I got two best friends. I mean, well, a husband and wife best friend. I seen them, and I instantly knew they was different. I instantly knew this is something different that I ain't never seen and never felt, and I wanted that. But I had to humble myself. I had to be willing because the person I was had no business, like I said, being around it. But I had to humble myself and see that, and humble myself to come in their life and receive what they had for me. Somebody else would be like, "Oh man, what you looking at them?" They was younger than me. They was younger than me, and both of them came from a home that had their fathers and mothers. I didn't come from a home with a mother and father. Both of them were married. They married. Their views on marriage were different. Me and my first wife both came from single home, trauma, violent violent relationships. They was talking a whole nother way. I was taught that, man, you supposed to protect your woman. You got to guard up. What dude looking at my woman? You supposed, hey, don't disrespect me, man. The dude that I saw, his wife was just cool. Like he was cool with her. She got a bathing suit on too. He ain't threatening at all. That's something different from where I come from. I want that. I want to ready to relax. I want to be free like this. Like he looked at free to me. I wanted to be free like that. And that was it for me. So a person that you gotta want this baby to have that. I can come talk to you all day long. You gotta want it. Because again, like when a guy told me the guy that would, told me about that, I wanted to hear what he got to say, but when he got me, I was still saying, "Hey man, my marriage is over. She gone?" And he kept asking me, "Well, where's she gone?" I said, "Man, it's over. She gone. And he had to tell me, dude, she right here. If she was gone, she wouldn't be here. See, your mind can make up some stuff that you don't even see.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You got to make up some stuff that in your head that you don't even, you done made up, it's over, it's gone.
Okay.
It gone, it means she wouldn't be standing here. What I was
Right.
saying is I wasn't willing to do the work.
Yeah.
I done messed up enough that I was just, man, I'm just tired. I ain't willing. Matter of fact, and the point was I didn't know how. And see, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Going back to the question is, some people just don't know how they're going. They want help, they don't know how. But that's how you got to find that button and find that way. Sometimes it might take you, two or three people to get them, but just showing that you care, that showing that you're there. I don't know what it is for you, brother, but I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna work together to find out how I can help you get to that point. How I can help you. Hey, especially if I ain't never been married, or especially if I've been, hey, let me go get someone that's been married. Let's get some counsel. Let's see. I can't understand that view there. Yeah, I like me and my partners. I got partners that been married, and I remember I told one of my partners he was going through divorce, and he was going, and I said, hey, bro, you got three boys. They watching you. Your actions with you towards their mama can cause change their life. So when they watching you, how you conduct with their mother right now is gonna be the way they conduct with their wives, the way they conduct. So be mindful of what you're doing right there. Just that test right there, like Ben said. So the saying like me with me, I am an open book. Nothing. Every page of my book is open. I am not ashamed of anything that I went through because it was true and it was testimony for me. So when somebody come to me and they come to me, they can feel the realness. But when I know, because when that person come to you and you've been through, you know when to open your mouth. You know when to say, yeah, this one for me, the Most High. This the Most High to sit this person to me, and I'm ready
Mhm.
to open up and help that person to that point. But he got to be want. They got to want it. They got to
That's
want it.
that's the thing, Fletcher. You get to the end of your road where you just want out. You just want and ready for some guidance, some
Yeah,
answer. That's right.
yeah.
Hey, I like what Cedric said in here. He said the best advice that you gave me wasn't with words, but with watching you. He said to just watch what you did, take the good and add them to myself, and watch the bad and try not to store that I've told that to my own soldiers. So again, we're speaking to like a young man that is on the other line, that's on the
On the
platform,
line. That's right.
that is basically, and again, it's not always what we say, right? It's what we do. And as I stated to him, I was like, it wasn't perfect, right? Me and his mom's marriage wasn't perfect. There were some things that I really wish that I just could have done over. But again, he took from the buffet table. And as I tell all my sons, I was right, there's nothing wrong with the food. You just take what you need from the buffet table and just use it, right? Store it, eat it at another time. My upbringing wasn't perfect to me. My mom did the best that she could, right? I don't hold anything against her with that because, again, a single black woman, I'm a hard headed black kid, trying to just do what I can. But it's like she didn't sit here and say, watch me balance this checkbook. I watched. I watched the actions. Like I said, our kids are watching. We're the best blueprint for them, right?
So that's the best point what you said, and I had to learn.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, I had to learn that in my young age. I mean, in my older age now, I'm learning. Your kids, they see, they hear, and they touch. Everything that you're doing, they really watch. You think they're not watching? They watch every movement. And when I got in like the construction world, the military world, you start seeing if you went to the military, most likely your children going to the military. If you was a plumber, most likely your child is going to be a plumber, educator, different things. So that's how important. If that's true, then now that you know that, when you know better, you do better. You know that better, you do better. And just like saying, getting the right tools. See, so many tools out here now that we didn't have back then that we have now is available. You have so many tools that you can help people, even with the relationship, the marriage, probably that can help people through life dealing with trauma. And that's what it is. Because a lot of us, like you say, when I be talking on Facebook or my podcast, I say we got to forgive ourselves. We got to forgive our parents. We got to forgive our past. You know what I'm saying? And move forward. You know what I'm saying? Just be better, do better, have better. That's all we can do. You got another day to be a better person, be a better husband, to be a better father, be a better mother, be better. And that take putting your transformation is the evidence of education. Educating yourself, willing to be an open book, educate yourself on these things, and then you'll start doing better, and then you'll start having better. That's it.
I like that, Key. I
I
like,
do too. I don't think I can say it any better, man, than that. Gotta forgive yourself.
yeah.
Forgive your past. Forgive your
And to add on to what Keith said, there's when you say like what we've been saying, the kids are watching. There's a watched trait, there's a learned trait, and there's an inherited trait. It's the inherited stuff, we try to shake, that we get from our, parents, from our genes, from the bloodlines. There's some things that we've watched and learned too, right? So again, it's all three facets, right? You talk about sports, all three facets of like the game: defense, offense, special teams, right? There's a watched, learned, and inherited. But we got to understand that, and again, it won't always be perfect, right? But we got to get better along the way. And kind of like the audience has said, right? They watch, they take it, and they use it later on in life. So, but again, when we're as men, we got to help other men. And honestly, we got to ask each other and just say, hey, Keith, are you good? Extraordinaire, are you good? Especially in this day of mental illness and things of that nature, man, because
Yeah.
I've seen so many people that's just crumbled. And it's like the one thing that we don't do is we don't ask, hey, how are you? Like we got to step up and start holding ourselves accountable and start saying, hey, how are you doing? No, be real. You're telling me it's all good, but men have a tendency to say, oh, I'm good. No,
Yeah.
not really good. How are
Yeah.
you really? Because
Yeah.
even when my sons come here, I'll ask them, how are you? I look them in the eye. No, really, how are you? Do you need help? Are you good? One thing I like to say, how's your mental? Right? You got to be specific when you're asking like certain questions, right? Like, how's your mental doing?
Yeah, I
Ooh.
going down, and then you got to be mindful, like meeting them where they at, coming down to them. You know what I'm saying? Talking to that level. I think the thing about me, why dudes or kids come to me, I'm always trying to keep it real with them. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I talk on my show. I say if you above 30, you know what I'm saying? You already got your trauma. So me, I'm trying to talk to the young ones under 30. Because to catch them when they're young and try to get them some guidance, be that elder front of them. You know what I'm saying? And if the person that's older receive what I'm saying, that was meant for them. But I really want to catch the youth and talk to them about these things because, like saying, and I think a lot of things we leave out environment. What you said, what you learn, and all that stuff. But the environment does matter too. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm in the environment and I got to survive, I'm coming out a different person. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a different animal. You know what I'm saying? So with me, living in Oak Cliff, living in Texas, being in places, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a different person. I tell my kids that all the time. I done did all the stuff. I done did all the things that you don't have to do. I done went to them places that I went. I don't want so the environment they in, where they in now, and where I grew up at is different. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be different. I had to think different at that time. That's what I thought. That's all I knew to survive. But to have that thriving mindset, that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. No matter where you at, that's what I'm learning. What area you in, what environment you in. If you have a thriving mindset, you can overcome that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you need to put in people to believe. I think a lot of us go off our behaviors. You know what I'm saying? If we're going off our behavior, that was with me. But now I didn't believe in myself because I done lied, I done failed myself. So I'm using these behaviors to maneuver. But if I start putting my belief in front of that, not behaving, I start believing, and I start writing and visioning, then I start acting accordingly, then my behavior start, that's when change happens. But I gotta believe I can do it. That identity thing, like I say this all the time to my kids and people, they say I'm not a morning person. I hate to hear someone say what you're not. How you not a morning person, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm an everyday person. I'm an anytime person. You know what I'm saying? In the military, you had to be at that time. So you didn't have a choice. So if all these people in the military had to be that, how can you can shape and be whatever you want to be? And Stronair said all the time, an apple tree can be an apple tree. A pear tree can be a pear tree. But a human being can be so much more. But we fall into that environment, we fall into them, what people say, we fall into our trauma, we fall into our environment, we fall into, like you said, what I was taught by home, and we need to shake those things. We need to shake those traumas and say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'm here, but that don't mean I have to stay here. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I'm gonna be here.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about right there. Programming yourself, reprogramming your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love the gym. Me and Vince, we go to the gym. We programming our body, but our mind is being shaped too. The competition ain't with nobody but yourself, your daily habits. So that's what it's about with me, man.
I want to echo what Mark said in the chat room.
Please, please do, please do.
It's okay at this point here. For everybody in that chat room, I want you all to know world premier word on the street community. They are fired up and they are laying on some golden nuggets in this chat room. But I just want to read one that resonates, something we say all the time. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
We walking around here, man, about to explode.
Yeah,
I mean, Fletcher and Vincent says so much great stuff on this platform. And I would order, I would order their book. Man, where's your book? Where's your CD? I want to order that, man, download it. I'm serious, brother, and play it over and over again. Fletcher, you said you got to forgive yourself.
mhm.
Forgive yourself. Vincent, you said you got to be sincere. No, man, how are you? No, how are you? It's that's see that's a how you doing, and there's a sincere how are you, man. That's some powerful stuff. You got to be ready. You got to be able to talk to the right person. And Fletcher said all the time, man. You're gonna have to trust somebody.
Yeah,
You walk around here, Fletcher, as you have said so much. We about to just we're hand grenade about the we're a volcano about to erupt
mhm.
because we holding so much in.
Yeah.
Yeah. When hey,
Hey,
Vince, remember that time at the gym, that guy, that big old guy that I was so angry I wanted to fight, because he took my towel off that bench.
yeah.
Yes, this dude was built like Goldberg, and Keith went up and was like, "Man, so did you move my towel?" And they're about to fight in 25 Fitness, and I'm like, "It's gonna be a doozy right here
Yeah,
over a towel." And
yeah.
and it's like now Keith sees the guy, and they laugh, and they're good friends, right? Like
And it,
like like they can chop it up. But I'll let Keith talk on that.
nah, but like you say, and that's how the Most High work. Like you said, it was a moment. The dude's huge, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about we about to be nose to nose, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go at it, but the dude's huge as hell, man. And at the time I'm so mad, but fast forward, I was so mad that I didn't even see it. And I remember Vince say, "Man, what would you think?" And I said, "Man, all these weapons in this gym, man, he ain't gonna touch me, boy. I deserve to get my butt whooped if ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he just can't grab. I just don't let him grab. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. Who
and
said you got to swing fair? Who said it have to be fair? Huh?
ain't nothing fair this,
Ain't nothing fair in war.
Trying there, I laughed. One day I went in and I saw him. He was sitting in a chair, and the weight, he got 150-pound dumbbells, and he picked it up just like this, and he was just throwing it like, I said, "Oh my God." I say, "Man, what the hell was I thinking?" He was just moving that feet like, so I saw him later on, and we both, like I said, man, we brothers, we laughing, and we talk about that to this day. Matter of fact, he going to another gym. He ran across me in another gym, and the brother was going through some hard stuff with his he lost his company, and me and him was talking about it, and I gave him some word encouragement, and it's just crazy how God the Most High can work, man, and put it front center. We right back, and I see him every day, man, every day. "What's up, brother? How you doing?" We dap each other, hug each other. I met his wife, he been telling me to come by the house, let's cook out, but yeah, when it happened, man, it was crazy about how things can. But you gotta
Hey,
humble yourself.
hey, brothers, let's wrap it up.
All
Well, we
right.
like to really, man, we had a meaty show. Really like to thank everybody who showed up and showed out, came and just joined in. And look, hey, folks, don't let it be y'all last time. We come on every Thursday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. Just go on and subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. Let's talk to us, Vincent.
No, I'm just glad to just actually I'm just glad for Cedric and Mark for joining.
Yes.
Yes.
Really like the way that they chimed in, and You heard it from a perspective from an individual that's in the service, in the military, and then another young man. As always, thank you, Ladiana, Selena, for joining as well. This is what we like, is when the audience chimes in and they give that feedback, so we can kind
Yes.
of piggyback off that too, because this helps build the platform. But not only that, this helps us not just give our insight, but to get y'all's insight.
Right, right. Wrap it up for us, Fletcher.
Man, hey, I'm always on that be do have, man. The blessing is you woke up today. God, the Most High, don't talk to the dead. He woke you up today to be better, do better, have better. You know what I'm saying? Be fruitful, do multiply, have dominion. And to start being the person you are now, the person you are right now, cannot go where you're trying to go. Be time. Hey, don't worry about that. Become, so you can be, you can do, and you can have. That's it, man. That's what the blessing is. He woke you up this morning to be up, do, and have dominion on all of your problems. So let's go do that, man. Let's go be perfect tomorrow. Hey, don't worry about yesterday. We talking about today. That's it, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all again. The audience, man. Thank y'all, man. I like that. I like that, man. Communicating with that. Another, I'm saying, great show, man. Great show, guys. Extraordinary and good. Great.
And thank all of you all. Until next time, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. We can't wait to be back with you Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again. Same time, same place. Right here on world premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.